Hello and welcome to another Linux video. In today's episode I will be talking about the menu icons that you can find in your desktop environment application launcher menu. So that menu is basically defined by the XDG desktop entry specifications. So we will be looking at the desktop entries in the ArchWiki, and we will also look at the desktop entry specifications on the freedesktop.org website, and we will of course apply it in our virtual machine in our Arch install with the Budgie desktop. So this is the Budgie menu here, where we have all these little submenus and all these icons in these submenus, and maybe you are frustrated that why is the input method and the LightDM settings are in the other section while the Budgie desktop settings and the GNOME settings are in the system tools, and maybe you are not satisfied with the settings name. Here you want it to be written GNOME settings and you have no idea how to do that. So that's what we will try to figure out through the excellent ArchWiki and the desktop entry specifications here. So if you want to reorganize your items in your Budgie menu, or this will basically work with every desktop environment which has an application launcher menu like this. So people will often suggest you to use programs like a la carte, which you can find in the Arch Linux repositories, and I tried it and it just totally messed things up. And looking at the Arch Linux forums, it didn't just mess things up for me, it messes up things for other people too. So I decided I'd look into it, because in Linux usually you can find some configuration files that you can manually edit. You don't need to rely on all these applications for these things. So here, this Arch Linux desktop entries wiki page will tell us some overview of how this works. So basically we can have the applications, links, and directories. So applications have this .desktop file extension. These define the icons that appear in that menu, and we also have directories which will define these submenus that you can see here in the case of the Budgie menu. And of course, what we want to do here is we can also put URLs, and they also use the desktop extension. I've not tried this. So for the application entry, they reside in /usr/share/applications, or here usr local share applications. These are for the system-wide things. So to modify these, you need to be root, and if you have multiple users on your computer, then if you modify these files, this will modify everything for every user. And so it's basically much better to use this directory in your own home directory, the .local/share/application directory, which will specify your own set of icons. You can use that to customize your own desktop, and if you add another user, someone else is also using the same computer or whatever, they can do that for themselves. So of course there are reasons sometimes to modify these things, but you don't know exactly, like maybe you do an update or remove an application and add again, and then this will change back to its original state, while probably these kind of things won't influence if you have the file additionally in your own home directory. And so the user entries take precedence, which means that whatever you have here overrides whatever there is there. Okay, so if we are going to this desktop entry specification, it will specify how to name your desktop files and the directory files. So let's first go for the directories, because I think that those are a little more straightforward. So let's open the Nemo file browser here, and so we have to go to our local and share, and you can see that we have the applications folder here, which is empty. And let's open another instance here. We could go, actually Nemo can do an extra plane. Can I change that to file system? Yes, I can, and I need USR. Where are you? And share. And here is our applications folder, so you can see all these many icons in this folder. And if I go here, there will be a desktop directories folder. So I will make a new folder here called desktop directories. And so let's go in here, let's check out what do we have. So you can see that these are directories like audio, video, game, graphics, office, system tools, utility, accessibility, and stuff like that. And so some of them don't appear here because we don't have any office programs yet, so, and empty folders are not shown in this Budgie menu, or games, we don't have games. So what if, let me go into this folder too. So let me copy the system tools directory here, and let me open this in our text editor. So this is how this file looks. It's a desktop entry, and it has names in all these different languages. So if you change the localization of your system, this will have all these names. So of course we have some fonts that are not installed. We have some that are installed. Here you can see the Chinese fonts are not perfectly installed. The what is this? The simplified ones. The Hong Kong and Taiwan, they use the traditional, and we have the traditional fonts. Here we have Japanese too. Very good. Well, these are, so we have the name and the comment. So this is name equals system tools. So this is, here you don't see it probably because very small letters, but so this is in our user folder. I don't want to use any of these localized things, so I'll just delete all these and just leave the English version for everything. Translators don't translate the icon names. Yeah. So if we can just shorten it, and if so you can see that system tools is there. This is how you know it's called system tools. So let me save it. I can save it because it's in my home folder. I wouldn't be able to save it if I wanted to modify the one in the USR folder. There I need root privileges to do that, because that would affect everyone. So now I have my system tools here. It's a directory. It should have the applications-system icon, but the Budgie menu doesn't support showing icons for these submenus here, so we don't see anything. Okay. Actually, I can delete this comment line here. I don't need it. So what can I do? I want to call this menu entry just simply system. So I just name equals system. I press save. And oh, it's still called system tools. I probably have to logout and login for that to take effect. And so let's see if it did indeed take effect. And yes, you can see now it is called system. So next, let's try to move this input method and the lightdm GTK plus greeter settings into this system and rename the settings to GNOME settings. Because we have a lot of settings, and we should specify that this is specifically the GNOME settings in our system. So let's open Nemo. Let's toggle, no, sorry, I want the extra pane here. And so here I'm in the local share applications, and here this side I want to go to my file system, USR, share, applications. And so what I want to change is, I want to change input method, lightdm settings, and what else was there? Settings. So these files I will just drag and drop and they will be yeah, I need to copy them. I press Ctrl and drag and drop. No? Ctrl C and Ctrl V. That worked. Ctrl C and Ctrl V worked. So I copied these files, and now you can see that, oh, these are just the icons appear here, while here it has some uim.desktop and lightdm-gtk-greeter-settings.desktop. So here you don't see that these are .desktop files. The reason for that is here the properties. I allow the execution, and now it's an executable. So basically Nemo knows what it is. I don't allow the execution, so it's just the file appears here. And I can now edit these files here. So let's uim desktop GNOME control. So let's start with the GNOME's control center, because so I want to open it with the text editor. I don't want to execute. So you can execute the desktop entries and then they will just run the program that they specify. So here I will delete the localizations just to make it more easy to see what's going on. And let's delete these. Let's delete all these things. And now we could go. So we have name is settings. So this is what I want to change to GNOME settings. And if I save it, and now I go system, GNOME settings. So this part, the menu item or the submenus needs to be, so you need to restart your system if you want the submenus to be changed, but the icons will change instantaneously. And so what we have here, if we check out the desktop specifications on the internet, then we can see, so the entries are specified as key equals value, and possible value types are discussed here, localized values, yada yada yada, and here are the keys that we should be using. So type, the specification defines 3 types, the application link or directory. And if I go just to open my window of the VM here, we have the type application, and So type application version is which version of the desktop entry specification does it follow. It's not application version, it's version of the standard. Name, we already saw the name, like GNOME settings was the name we changed. Generic name, we should give like a generic name like web browser for Firefox or something. There is this no display. This is kind of important, so we can make some icons disappear. So if you don't want the item in the menu, then you cannot delete the one in the root directory in the USR folder. So you can just copy that and add the no display key there, and no display equals true. That will let you to use these other functions that are available in these desktop entries without actually opening or without actually placing that on the menu there. So some things, because these, if I go like for example for the text editor, I open this, you can see that if I scroll down way to the bottom here, or rather somewhere in the middle, maybe not this text editor, should have there's like new window, new document actions specified here. So you can specify a lot of things for this, and you can hide the icon. So for example, there are the actions specified in this one. That's where were they? Anyways, that means that if I do a right click here, you can new document, new window. So maybe you don't want this to have an icon, this text editor to have an icon in the menu, but you want to use that. And we will talk about that in just a moment. So you can hide the these things. You can hide them from the menu while also using some extra functionality. Or you can let's try this. Let's look at this one for example. Let's open it with the text editor. So this desktop entry is also containing all these keywords and all these languages which you can use for searching the application. And this one actually has MIME types. So for example, the MIME types that are associated, so these are the file types that your desktop environment should use this specific application, the file roller application. It wants to use the file roller for all these different file types, and you can specify it in the MIME type, but maybe you want to hide this icon. You don't want this icon to appear in the menu itself. So that's why you can use the no display. Oh, this took me a very long time to explain why it is good that we have the no display key here. And also hidden, it means that it should be equivalent to not existing. So this is if you want to do like this desktop icon and nothing ever existed that's in this file ever. So this is kind of, yeah, you uninstall something on a user level, but only for this user. We can specify which desktop environments, if you have more desktop environments, you can specify which ones to show in, which ones to hide in. What is the executable program for that? Is this a terminal application? Should it be run through a terminal, etc.? MIME types, we just talked about the MIME types, so like the file associations, keywords, which are for searching. Okay, I think I'm rambling on a lot, so let's get into some action. So we made our GNOME settings to appear as GNOME settings. So now we want to move the input method and the LightDM greeter to that. Oh, and so for that I need to check the categories which define basically for where which submenu they should be in. So category system. Great. So let's open these with the text editor, and now I can just say, okay, I only want this to be in the system directory. So I just removed all these other things that were highlighted by red, and I save it, and now, yep, it got moved to the system. So I will do the very same thing with the UIM, open with other application. Let's go, and this will be system. Let's save it. And now you can see with the other it disappeared, and system contains LightDM and input method and everything we needed. Maybe we want to move something out there, but anyways, so that's enough for this demonstration. Let's demonstrate something else, and that will be Nemo. So I will copy. Can I copy Nemo? Why can't I copy with the mouse? Anyways, let's copy paste. So we have Nemo. Here Nemo is just called Nemo. That's very good. Access and organize files. You can see that if I edit this in my text editor, name, so here comment access and organize files. So that's how that goes there. And now, so we can see, this also has MIME types. And so if you remember, we added these MIME types via some command line command previously. So actions, open home, open computer, open trash. So if you right click on Nemo, trash, computer, home is there. What if I want to add, let's see, I want my Nemo, so I want to have, let's see, I want to have a documents folder, and I want a direct link there. So let's say documents, and I want to change its icon to whatever. Is there a documents icon somewhere here? Emblems, MIME types. No, not MIME types. There was a places, maybe. Document recent folder copy file open. Blue, brown. No. What was that? I remember having. These are not the things I'm looking for. It should be somewhere. Anyway, so we could find and change this icon somehow and somewhere. Yeah, this was the one. Oh no, this was not that one. That looks ugly. There must have been some places. But no, it wasn't. Anyway, let's just switch it back to directory. It's good enough. Anyways, we want to have an open dash documents here. So I just added that, and here we have the desktop as actions. So let's copy one. What does it have? It has this desktop action open home. So we will have a desktop action open documents. Let's just copy this. It will be called documents. Desktop action open documents. And what does it do? It has an exec, Nemo, and %sign and U. Or if we check what Open Computer does is Nemo exec equals Nemo space computer, and well, I have no idea what exactly the colon / would mean there, but anyway, so we want an exec line and add that, and we want to open the documents folder. So let's just save it. It did not appear yet, so I have to close all my Nemo instances so this icon disappears. And now let's just open it from the menu, and now I have documents, and if I click on it, it opens the documents folder, which is in my home directory. Very convenient. So this is how it is done. So now you know how to modify the names and the applications and how to add new actions to these. You can learn a lot by just looking at all the other files. We learned about the desktop entries, we learned about the how to make and rename and change other folders. So I think this is enough for today. This video is going on very long compared to the difficulty of the things that I explained. I hope I did not confuse you more than I clarified things. So I think you should be able to reorganize your menus based on this information, but of course always try to reference the official documentation if you are doing that, and try to take a look at how other icons are there. So it's better to copy from things that work, and that if something does not work after you modify it, it's in your home directory, so you can just delete it and the system will default back to the system-wide settings stored in the USR folder. So nothing to worry about. Experiment and figure out how you like your own system to be set up, how you like your menu structure there. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.